short video on mowed grass fire lines. So these are really common fire lines, and this video is just a really short training video to help folks figure out how to use them, how to put them in and how to use them. So I'm just going to go through this video and show you some features because I happen to be on a grass fire line and just wanted to show you some of it. Okay, so right here is the woods, and here's the fire break, and it's grass and it's mowed, and this fire break is used to drive on, and it looks like it gets semi-frequent traffic, or it used to anyway. It looks pretty well used. It's probably pretty compacted soil there is what it looks like. And so that's a great fire break, and they just came through and mowed it before the fire, and that's all that's needed. For a grass fire break, when we're burning off grass fields, it needs to be pretty wide. It needs to be at least 9 feet, if not all the way up to 15 feet wide right here. If it's the woods, we'll use these for burning off the woods too. So if we're burning off the woods over here, it doesn't have to be as wide. It can be a lot narrower. It only needs to be like 6 feet. It would be good to go more, but that's kind of a minimum of 6 feet. So what this is it's mowed grass, and you can see there's dead thatch in here. And so that's the biggest issue with these. Everything's really easy. You just keep it mowed year round. You keep the dead stuff from building up. And then right before the fire, you come through with a leaf blower and you blow out a path where you get rid of all the dead thatch. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. In some places there is no dead thatch. In some places there's a lot. So some places you'll walk right by, you won't even blow. Some places you'll slow down and you'll spend a lot of time clearing out a little path, just a foot or two wide, to keep the fire from crossing. And I'll show you, the fire just creeps across these because it doesn't have any tall fuel. So by mowing it, you're keeping the fire heights down, so even if the fire does cross it, it's going to be really low flame height, and it's not going to run across here unless it's just really dry. Okay, so you can see we got the Driptorch going. He came from down here, and in this tall dead grass, it doesn't take long. I'm standing in the heat right here where I'm at. It's getting pretty uncomfortable, and it wasn't that long ago that this spot was lit. Okay, so I'm just going to back up and show this segment again, and then I'll move on. Okay, I'll just say the person with the drip torch, when they're lighting off these grass fields like this, and in the woods too, but in the grass it's shorter distances, you're going to want to stop every once in a while, look back, and make sure that nothing right behind you is running across the fire line. And then also you want to grow this distance here. You want this fire to move out into the field a little bit before you just continue on. Because if you continue on and something goes wrong, you just lit a whole bunch of fire and you made things a lot more intense than they could have been if you would have just slowed down a little bit. So just a note, and this guy's doing this very well. He knows what he's doing. Okay, here's a good example of what happens when we light this fire. This is a perfect example, and it shows how these fire lines work, these mowed fire lines. So he's putting a line down a fire. He's just walking along, fuel's dripping out, and fire's starting. And in this condition, it's growing really fast. You can see how fast it's growing. When I started, he was right here, and it's already over a foot wide right there. So what's happening is we've got two flame fronts that are forming. Here's a flame front here, and it's going into this really dense tall grass, and so this is getting hot fast. It's growing really fast. and that's expected. But then we mowed the grass over here. We got rid of all the tall fuel, and the flame that's going this way, the flaming front that's going this way, is by and large putting itself out. It looks like right here there's still a little bit that's burning, and we can see here it burned out into the patch a little bit, and it put itself out. It looks like it burned out into all this and it put itself out. Maybe I just went by there and put that out. I can't remember. It looks like it should have kept burning through that dead stuff. But anyway, that's a really good picture of a flame front that happens, and you can see how fast it happens in grass. In the woods, it happens very slow compared to this. Very slow. In the woods, you don't have all this tall dead grass that's making these big flames. If you're doing it under mild conditions, if you're burning on windy red flag days in the woods, yeah, you can get this. That's why we don't burn like that. We don't burn the woods when we get flame heights like that. Okay, moving along. Something coming up I want to show you. Okay, see this fellow with the leaf blower. Okay, so when we showed up on the burn, there were just a few places. The Fireline was great. You can see it's working great. But there were just a couple places where there was enough thatch buildup that it was wanting to cross, or we could see that it was going to cross. So we sent a leaf blower out to clean those areas up. And so that's what this fellow's doing, just working on the Fireline, cleaning it up. And also, it's not in this video, but it did happen on this fire, and it's pretty common. Once these separate enough, if this is still burning over here, while this fire is moved over here, if this is still burning, the leaf blower can be used to blow that out. Now, wind can make the fire grow, so it takes a little practice to figure it out, but it's not that complicated. And it's a pretty good tool, and we used it quite a bit to put out that second front. Okay, I'll just go back on that last segment. Here's the burn unit that hasn't burned. The Fireline goes up here out of the frame, comes around over to here out of the frame behind the cedars, and then it follows this tree line, which is the woods. And then over here it makes a right turn, a 90-degree angle, and goes down this direction. So we're going to burn off this entire field. And then there's another crew. We both started in the same point right here, and they did a lot of waiting for us because it took us a long time to get over here, and they're right there. And so they're coming over here, and then they're going to come down this line, and we actually met over here up this hill. Okay, I'll advance it a little bit. Okay, so here's a lady that's watching this Fireline, and she's the first person behind the drip torch. And so she has either a rake or a swatter. I can't remember. We kind of switched on and off, and this was 6 or 8 months ago. But her job is to make sure that this line is cold. So we've still got some active flame here, and her job, the second behind the drip torch, is to come over here and put this active flame out and make it go cold. So she doesn't advance unless it's cold. If she sees a hot place back here, then she goes back there. So all this is cold back here, and she's just following along at a certain distance, allowing this flame to get a certain distance away, allowing this to creep out into the Fireline a little bit, and then she's making sure that it goes cold. And then the leaf blower is going to come by here and do a second check. So we're pretty thorough with checking these Firelines and making sure they go cold. Just another note, we're lighting a backfire. So you can see the winds are going this direction. The flames are leaning over in that direction because the wind is pushing them. And so this line is slowly going that way And speed is relative. It's going kind of fast, but whenever we light on the other side, it races across here. So this is a backing fire, and the intention of this fire is to increase the distance of the fire line. So we've already got a grass mowed fire line that's, I'm just going to say 10 feet. And right here we've added another 5 or 6 feet to that. And that's going to continue to grow before the head fire gets here. So by the time the head fire gets here, all this is going to be black. And we don't have to worry about that big, fast fire crossing over, because we've made the fire line a lot wider. That's how the fire lines work, and these grass fire lines are very commonly used because we have a lot of fields. We burn a lot of fields. We also burn a lot of our woods that have fields around them. Other fire lines that we do in the woods, and other kinds of fire lines, maybe I can make other videos for in the future. Leave me a comment if you'd like to see me talk about something else. Let me know. I'm giving this a try. I've got quite a bit of footage from work that we've done, and I'm just going to try to highlight it here for training for clients and for prospective clients and for those other people that want to learn. It's available. All right, thanks for watching.